How's it going?
Good. How are you?
What's happening? I'm doing well.
A little birdie told me today was your birthday.
It's true.
I
It's
feel
so weird turning 30 at this age.
and so accomplished for 30. How did you get into skiing?
um, I think it was a way for my mom to get rid of me on the weekends when I was little. She would drop me off at Squaw Valley at 8 a.m. and pick me up at 4 p.m. And, that was my life growing up, and I got into ski racing. And when we moved from California to Montana, I was really lucky to have a coach there that saw my potential beyond ski racing, I think is the best way to put it. And that's how I was sponsored by the North Face and had that career as a ski mountaineer.
So when did your career start?
Um, Probably 1989, 1990, in Big Sky, Montana. I carried camera equipment for Warren Miller. And after a couple days of doing that, Gary Nate, the cinematographer, I thought he was going to fire me, but instead he gave me a new North Face outfit and some K2 skis to be in front of the camera.
He saw talent too. So you were pretty young. You were still like in high school practically.
Yeah, I was 17.
So you started out in Big Sky. Did your ski career take you other places besides Big Sky?
I went, so I was able to travel to Europe, New Zealand, South America, Chile, and Argentina, all over the United States, Alaska, Canada, wherever it was snowing. It felt like the North Face and K2 and Kesley and my sponsors at the time were willing to pay to get me there.
So you were able to travel all over the world. Was there a favorite place that you traveled to ski, and why?
For the whole skiing experience, I think that Chamonix, Le Grave, and the French Alps are really special. The Alps are really special in general as a skiing experience. The Europeans, with all their quirks and their very odd fashion that they have over there, they really know how to, because it's not just about the skiing, it's about the food, it's about après, it's everything. And you can't really beat the Alps. I think for a pure skiing experience, you can't beat helicopter skiing in Alaska.
Oh, wow.
And
I've never heard that, like, as a favorite. Helicopter skiing in Alaska.
I mean, it's heli ski in Canada, Alaska, it's the purest, best skiing, snowboarding you can get. The snow in Alaska it's coastal snow, so it has a very unique property to it. It sticks to very steep slopes. You're able to really push yourself there. And the snowpack in general is relatively stable, so it's safe. I don't ski anymore, by the way. I snowboard.
Is your son starting to ski?
He's starting to snowboard. It's funny. I tried to get him to ski, and he didn't understand what all of the equipment was for. He's like, Dad, why do I have poles? These boots are uncomfortable. And for him, he's grown up skateboarding, and he just didn't understand why anyone would ski. And I have to kind of agree with him.
So what do you do now for work? I'm assuming you're not professionally skiing anymore. So what do you do now for work? And does that take you around the world?
Yeah. So when I hung up my skis, and it was really at a time when there were these skiers that were pushing the envelope and it was getting really dangerous. I think in one winter, 3 or 4 people that I was pretty close with had passed away in avalanches or a ski accident. And I decided that wasn't what I wanted to do. And I had always been exposed to photography by my mother. And so I started shooting action sports, snowboarding, mountain biking, and had a great career with that. Shot for Burton Snowboards, Trans World Snowboarding, and evolved into directing and commercial directing. And for the past 17 years, I've been commercial directing, and it's great. I travel, when we can travel, travel all over the world. I've had, nightmare schedules where I went from Marrakesh to Lisbon to Mexico City to Santiago, Chile, all within the span of about 28 hours. From one job to the next. That was super hectic. I mainly shoot in the automotive world, so they don't shoot cars in ugly places, and
That's
that's
for
a
sure.
really great kind of niche that I've fallen into. I mainly focus on really remote areas as well. So we work with a really small crew, but we go in and we, are able to produce really high end content.
So where is the most remote place that you brought a car commercial into?
We shot Toyota TRD Pro launch out of, um, we started in Fairbanks, Alaska, and we drove all the way up to Dead Horse, Alaska. And it's the northernmost road in North America. It ends in Prudhoe Bay. And, we had a really small crew, 9 people. It was 30 below out. It was, 4 days of, getting up there. And it was an actual, the trucks that we were shooting were prototypes. It was a wonderful trip. For years, the cinematography gear was so big and cumbersome, they were locked into shooting wherever that gear could get. And in the past 10 years, we've really had the freedom of having smaller gear, smaller crews, and we can really go to places that have never been shot before. Because that's something, with all the noise of commercials and content, you really need to have something unique to make it stand out. And I think that's a value add that I bring to the clients is, hey, have you thought about shooting in the volcanoes in Chile? Have you thought about shooting, this section of the Utah desert, or, the road to Dead Horse, Prudhoe Bay? No one had, as far as we knew, the only crews that had shot up there were the ice road truckers. So we were able to be up there and, create something that no one else has ever seen before.
And that's I think such a cool thing to pave the way and to show people the world in a way that maybe they might not have seen it before. And your work is really stunning.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
is there a place that if you could shoot anywhere in the world for your projects, is there a spot that you've always been curious about?
Well, that's a good question. And there's this island chain off the coast of Russia, Eastern Russia, Kamchatka, I want to say, but I'm sure that's wrong. Um, you know, my good friend Jimmy Chin and Chris Burkhardt have both shot there, and every time they come back, it's just one of the most remote places. Volcanoes, there's no infrastructure, it's gorgeous, untouched. And I think that that's something that's special to me, is going to places that you can really see raw nature, the way Iceland felt 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah. What are the bucket list places that you have, not for work, but like places that you just want to go for yourself?
I really, I haven't had a chance to explore much of Africa. Um, I've done South Africa and Namibia and Morocco, but I'd really like to get into the heart of Africa, and see what, like I'd love to go to the Congo. As dangerous as it is, it's so beautiful. Seeing the documentary Virunga and how amazing that place is. I'd love to see it. And I've never been. I've been north of the Amazon a little bit, but I haven't been into the proper Amazon. When you go to a place like the desert or the jungle and you don't see any traces of humans, where you don't see footprints, you don't see handrails, you don't see anything like that, and you almost have that feeling of being the first person there, even though you definitely aren't. There's something special about that feeling.
So we're on this pandemic, obviously, and we're not really traveling internationally. But when they break us free and countries start accepting Americans again, where are you headed to?
Um, that's a super good question, and I think I'll probably my itch for Colombia has been because before the pandemic, I'd been planning on going to Colombia, and when the pandemic, so it had been a year or two since I'd been there, and now I just want to go back. I want to see my family, and I have a great friend there that owns a motorcycle touring company that works with BMW, and it's called Elephant Expeditions. And I go down, he gives me a motorcycle. He's one of my best friends. We've put routes together down there, and it's a special place that I can go and have a great adventure. The food there is incredible, and I think that's probably the first ticket that I'll get.
I love this.
100%.
Well, Sinuhe, have an amazing birthday. It was great
Thanks
to
for
chat
chatting.
today. Thank you so much.
All right, bye bye.